Hello and good afternoon, awesome people. It is so good to be speaking to you on another Facebook Live interview. I'm really starting to enjoy these now. And the technology is just awesome because right now it's 1:30 on a Tuesday afternoon. I'm here in my office, and on the other side of the interview, we have the awesome the fabulous Amie Richmond. Amie, how are you today? Tell the viewers, the listeners, the watchers who you are, what you do, and why you do it.
Well, firstly, thank you. That was a fantastic introduction. I really quite like that. So I'm Amie Richmond. I'm a nutritionist at Body Fabulous in Salisbury. So that's a nutrition and wellness clinic. So all I do is help people with their health. So I help people get their health back, maintain their weight, and just lead a healthier lifestyle. So I work a lot with people with chronic pain and illness, but as well as just getting their mojo back a bit when they've lost their way with diet and exercise. Yeah.
And how's your diary right now? Because like we know, January is a very popular time to want to begin any kind of journey. And we also get this whole chasing ourselves a little bit when we've had a bit of an enjoyable December, so to speak. So are you extra busy now?
Like you, anybody in the health and wellness industry right now is just overwhelmed. I think it's just such a busy time of year when people really want help this time of year. So I'm actually booked out till May now, so fully booked. Wow. The great news is I have 3 other nutritionists now in the clinic. So they are seeing patients for me and really helping a lot of people, not just from the Salisbury area as well. We get people from all over Wiltshire and Hampshire and even Berkshire come down and get help from some of our great teams. So it's great that I've got the support now because, yeah, being one person trying to help everyone doesn't always work, does it? So, yeah, really busy time of year. But it's also a great opportunity to start again. January is an amazing opportunity for a fresh start, and we all get it, and that's the beauty of it. Wherever your health is right now, January is a great time to start. So whether you've started on your own, you've perhaps lost your way a little bit, or whether you're in full flow and you're really grabbing life right now and really enjoying your health, these kind of workshops and seminars like we're doing together are just ideal for pushing that a bit further and really taking yourself to the best self you can be.
Yeah, I love that. And so the title of our interview today is More Than Just Diet. So there's a lot of different angles that we could come at to tackle this point here. But I'm really keen to know your philosophy on the word diet and what you think that means to people versus what it really means and what we should view it as.
It's a really good question, and it's something that obviously I get asked a lot. People come to see me and they say, you know, I've tried Atkins and I've tried Slimming World and I've tried Weight Watchers and I've tried all these different, and no disrespect to any of those slimming companies, but the way I view anything in life is if you continually do something that isn't working, you are going to get the same outcome. So you are going inevitably at some point, even if you get a short-term success, anything that involves a short-term willpower-based regime will end. And if you haven't changed mentally, if you haven't really emotionally connected with where you need to change in order to make these changes in your life for good, then it will go back on. You know, the weight will go back on, your health will decline again. So really, a lot of the battle when it comes to food is up here. So nobody needs me, very few people anyway, need me to come in and say, here's a list of vegetables. And here's a list of cakes and sweets, and these are good and these are bad. Nobody needs that. What they need is the connection.
Okay, so where do you start? Like, what's the first thing, in your professional opinion, to get someone on the right track?
So you know my story, and I'll be sharing that at the SuperSelf Summit, 10th and 11th. So I'll be there in February to share my full story with everyone. But I, in my 20s, was over 21 stone. So I had gained over 10 stone in weight, and I was in a very, very difficult and dark place in my life. Certainly health-wise, I was in a very precarious position. I was pre-diabetic, and I had a lot of aches and pains. For a woman in her 20s, I was in a bad way. So when I say I know how hard it is to start, and to try and gather together all the different information and misinformation and put aside things that don't work and try and bring into your life all the things that do work, I do know how difficult it is. So you're right, knowing where to start is part of the battle, but being willing to start is also part of the success. So first of all, you have to buy into your success. I'm a huge believer in law of attraction. So one of the things that I really focused on was imagining my best self and really putting it out there, really putting it out to the universe and saying, what could I look like? What could I feel like? What's it going to feel like to get out of bed and have all this energy instead of being fatigued and tired all the time? So those kind of messages were really important to get my mindset in the right place, to know that I could do this, I'm capable. Even though I have a bigger amount of weight to lose than anyone else I knew at that time, I thought, I can do this. I am capable, I'm worthy, I am got all the tools here, I'm going to do it. So then my process was education. You really do need to weed through a lot of the misinformation that is available and try and decide for yourself. Obviously, I re-educated myself as a nutritionist. That certainly helps. So I learned what I really needed in terms of my nutrients in my diet and what was totally unneeded and just a waste of energy. Food is fuel. So I wanted quality fuel. I thought if I'm going to want to run my life like a Ferrari, I'm going to have to put premium petrol, diesel in it. So it has to be premium. What goes into me makes up every cell and part of me and my bone structure. So everything has to be quality. So once you start from that premise that you're going to be quality, you're going to make yourself quality by feeding yourself right, then it's a great place to start in terms of choosing a mindset.
Wow, so much there that we can take as advice. And sorry, I just turned this down here, it's got a bit of feedback, and as proven, because you are walking the walk and you're an example of what this means and what can be achieved and how the limits just really only exist in here. And once we're able to figure out how to get over and around and through, we can actually make the changes a reality. So I really like what you said about like the fuel analogy. The food is your fuel. I think sometimes that we get caught up, people get caught up in actually what is this all about? What does it actually mean? It's your physical self, and the food that you eat will be you. It will form your physical cells. It isn't about the sort of surface level, borderline pretentious element of I've got a bit of belly fat, or I don't feel good in my jeans and stuff like that. That's all relevant. That could help you to trigger a change. But actually what it's all about is that you're a human being and food is fuel. And if you get it right, or when you get it right, all the other stuff happens as well, doesn't it? And like, you speak from experience, which is what I absolutely adore about you and what you do. And I'm sure that you've got we could spend 10 hours talking about this, and you'd be able to talk about this instance, this situation, this day that was rubbish, or this day that was great, and this thing that you heard and you thought it was going to be great and then it wasn't. And it's just like a learning experience, isn't it? So we're all at a different place in the journey, and it's just figuring out what the next thing is. That's what I think, like focus on like the next thing. So I
totally agree. Yeah.
With all that in mind, and like knowing that there'll be various people listening, watching, and also at the SuperSelf Summit, people of different experiences, different situations. What is your mission when you come to the SuperSelf Summit to make sure that everyone takes something useful away with them from your talk?
I'm so excited about my talk. I'm always excited when I talk. Anyone that's come to hear me talk always says, oh my goodness, you give everything and it's all about passion. Because I have a window of opportunity to change someone's life. And that's how I feel about it. I literally changed my life from a morbidly obese, very poorly woman who didn't have the confidence to work, who was at home and depressed and I was considering gastric band surgery. I was considering starting on medication to help with my anxiety and depression. And now, in just sort of 10 years' time, how I've turned my life around, how I've grown a business and raised a family on my own, all the things that I've achieved because I started to feel myself right. So it's so fundamental. It's just life-changing. So I have this window of opportunity at the SuperSelf Summit to really help other people get their moment where they go, that made sense to me. I'm going to make a change today. So I don't want people to come along and just think, oh, that's nice. This would be an interesting story. She seems like a nice lady. I really want people to come along and think, this could change my life. This is the day where everything's going to change. I'm going to look back on this day on February the 10th and say, something clicked and I changed my life. So whether you have a weight issue or not isn't really part of the talk, although it's quite interesting to hear how somebody has managed to lose 10 stone, I agree. Some of the people that I work with in a business sense come to me, and it's all about making sure that you've got the right fuel, as I say. So if you're an entrepreneur, you're running your own business, you need energy. You need to hustle. You need to be on it. Your brain needs to be sharp. If you're coming out of bed and you're full of brain fog, you're fatigued, you're tired, by 3 o'clock you want a nap, you're not giving your best to your work. So whether you're carrying extra body fat or not, of course we want to get that down. But actually what's really important is that you get the most out of your life. So I really focus on health. As you say, it's nice and the ego's nice for me to fit into smaller dresses, and it's nice to feel pretty and all these other things. But actually it's health. If you get back to that, you realize that it affects every area of your life, your relationships, your interactions with your children, your vitality. Every aspect of your life turns around when you start fueling yourself right. So it is more than just the diet. It's much more about focusing on yourself and making sure you are the best version of you that you can be.
Yeah, I love that. I think that the awareness of self-development is starting to grow, and there's more avenues for people to be interested and engrossed in the topic. My fear is that we can, if we're not careful, become like conditioned or desensitized to certain messages because we see them and we hear them a lot. For example, becoming the best version of you is obviously something that everyone should strive to do, and it's something that we should all be looking to become. How can somebody make sure that they realize the difference between going on a diet to become the best version of you versus changing the way you live for a healthier lifestyle to become the best version of you? So if you had to sell it to them in like a 30-second like elevator pitch, why should I do it? What would you say?
I think you need to go back to basics. Okay, so you need to make sure that you start from a health point of view. Your greatest gift in life is the present, and that's why we say it all the time. It's called the present because it's a gift. It's a gift right now, your health. So you are squandering that gift when you give it away on a short-term plan. Your lifetime goal is to be healthy, is to be vital. Then you need to make lifetime changes. So being the best version of you, yeah, I take your point. It is a bit of a buzzword. It is a bit of a, let's go, and a bit, we've all got a bit American rah-rah, and that's great. I love people to get excited, but it needs practicality. You need to actually put this in place. You don't want to leave the summit and say, okay, that was really interesting, and then move on to another talk. I get people that come to my talks that have been to them for years, and I still see the same faces, they're looking in the same shape, and I think, okay, these people I still need to reach. So I won't reach everybody in that room on that day, but I'll reach a few, and that's what we keep doing. So every time you hear it, you have to get the message through that being the best version of yourself starts with self-love, without a doubt. That's the key point it starts with. If you don't love yourself, you'll never put yourself first. Ever. And you will find every reason why your husband or your wife comes first, or your job comes first, or your children, your house, the dog, somewhere beneath that list of people, you will be, oh, if I find any time at the end of that, then I'll go to the gym, then I'll go and buy healthy food. I haven't got the money to buy healthy food. I haven't got the time to prepare it. You make time for what you want in life. So until you start with self-love, you will never really be the best version of you. So it has to start there.
That's so big, so powerful. And also, if we haven't got that self-love, then everything that doesn't quite work out the way we planned invertedly comes back to our fault, and it's us, and it's because we're not good enough, or it's because we lack something, or it's because someone said this to us once and we believe that and we're holding on to it. Whereas if we do love ourselves and we have that self-worth, then when things don't quite work out, it actually becomes other people's problem and not ours. So we protect ourselves from that. And I think if we can protect ourselves from that, then we can avoid the spiral of depressive and negative thoughts, which if it keeps happening, eventually we do end up in a depressed state. So it's such a key point to love yourself and find the time, make the priorities. Totally agree with that. We all have the same amount of time, don't we? Like a 24-hour day. We just got to order and structure our priorities to make sure that we have time to do those things. And the ironic thing is that partner, friends, kids, dog, house, all these things benefit when you, the person who's in the middle and the center of this universe, improves the way you feel about yourself. And
that's a really powerful point. And conversely, if you let yourself sink, so if you let your health slip so much that you've stopped exercising, you've stopped taking care of yourself, you've stopped meditating, you've stopped having a place in the world other than providing for other people, then when you sink, they have to stop what they're doing to look after you. So you've actually now become a hindrance. In your efforts to become the one person that looks after everyone else, you are now somebody they need to look after. So that was something that really resonated with me as a mother of young children, when I was trying to ease myself into how am I going to love myself? How am I going to put myself first? I kept thinking, I can't sink, because if I sink, everyone else around me sinks, and I love them too much. So change your mindset in terms of, it's not selfish to take the time for you. It's imperative for your family. So once you start looking at things, same situation, just looking at it differently, it suddenly opens up a whole new world to you.
Awesome. I'm so excited to have you speaking at the SuperSelf Summit. It really is going to be such an incredible talk, and people are going to love what you've got to say, how you're going to say it, and your story, your full story, sharing that in your talk at the summit. Now, I'm asking all the speakers a couple of questions. First of all, what is it like in a oneer that you're most looking forward to about being part of the SuperSelf Summit?
Positivity. That's my thing. I love it. I think when you get a room of people that are just positive and they want to help each other and grow from each other, we're all there to support you and to guide you. And there's so many great experts there that this is going to be a life-changing weekend. So positivity for me.
Absolutely. And it totally is going to be a life-changing weekend. And just touching on what you said there, who are you most looking forward to actually hearing from in terms of the other speakers?
I've just put his book in my bedroom to start reading, but I've just ordered Citadel. So yeah, so cool. I'm so excited. Yeah.
So Jordan Wiley, yeah?
Yeah, Jordan is got an amazing story. So anybody that's booked in for the weekend that's going to hear him talk, that's incredible. That man is really special and a great spirit as well. You should follow him on Instagram. Like really fantastic guy. So yeah, I'm really super excited to meet him and all the other speakers as well, some of which I know and I'm privileged to work with before. So, it's lovely when you meet up on the speaker circuit and you hear other people's talk. But every time I talk, I rewrite my slides because every single group is different. So even if you've heard me talk before, this is going to be different. So I always add a different edge to it. And we're always coming up with new things. We're all learning and growing. It's really important to remember that even on a journey of self-love, we all have days where we don't feel it and we're not doing it. The trouble is, not the trouble, but the key point is that instead of having weeks where you feel like that and then sliding into a decline, you just have a day where you feel a bit down and you're not quite so positive and perky, but you've learned the tools to bounce back. We can't save you from what's going to happen in life. There's going to be dark days and dark times, but you don't sink, you just bounce back up again. So it's great to share that with other people. The other speakers are all going to be supporting that message, and we're all going to be there to really motivate and inspire. So I'm just really excited about it.
Love it. Amie, if people want to track you, follow you, engage with you on social media, where's the best place for them to do so?
So you can find me on all the social media sites, My Body Fabulous, Instagram is body_fabulous. So follow me on Twitter. I do loads of food reviews and product reviews, supplement reviews, or Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. These days we all have to be everywhere, but it's all free information. That's what I love about social media. So if you can't get in to see me, there's still loads of opportunity to see what I'm eating, where I'm eating, what I'm doing, and all these things that I find and products that are sent to me that I can share with other people as well. So it's a great opportunity to get free advice. So yeah, social media.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for doing the interview. And if anyone watching has any questions for Amie or anything that we've discussed here, put them in the comments box, even after it's live, because we'll still see it. Thanks so much for engaging. Amie, I'll see you in a couple of weeks' time at the SuperSelf Summit. Still time to get your tickets, guys. We've got a few remaining, and I'll pop the link in the comments. Until then, take care. Amie, have a fantastic day. And thank you so much for being.
See you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Alrighty.